Hey everyone, it's Wendy from Go Hiking San Diego, and today I am out at Mission Trails Regional Park. Today I'll be hiking Visitor Center Loop. It's about 1.5 miles with very minimal elevation gain. It's very family friendly, beginner friendly, kid friendly, and dog friendly. This trail does attract a lot of visitors though, so on the weekends expect to see crowds, other hikers and bikers, just a ton of people who come here to get away from the city. What's nice about Mission Trails is it's only about 15 minutes away from downtown, making it really accessible. Mission Trails has over 60 miles of hiking and biking trails, so there's a lot to do and see out here. Every time I come here, I find a new trail or I find something else to love about this amazing park. In total, it has over 8,000 acres as well, so it's a really big space. Sometimes it's hard to believe that this exists in such a busy city. Anyways, stick around and I'll show you what Visitor Center Loop Trail looks like at Mission Trails Regional Park. The trailhead is tucked away on the left side of the gate here. The small sign indicates the start of the hike. Remember that the hike is a loop, so we're not going to see this part of the trail again. The hiking trail itself is made up of packed dirt, and it starts off kind of narrow, maybe fitting 2 people max, but the trail will widen out as we go along. This is one of the few spots of the hike that contains shade, so keep that in mind if you're hiking Visitor Center Loop anytime soon, especially in the summer. You're going to want to bring a cap and some sunscreen. You are going to come across a few different forks in the trail along the way. Just keep an eye out for the signs. They're really easy to follow and tell you exactly where you're headed. Shortly after starting the hike, the trail really opens up here and gives you a really nice view of Mission Trails Regional Park and the surrounding area. Here's another fork in the trail. This time, this fork will take you to Grinding Rocks Trail. It also leads to Father Junipero Serra Trail. That's the main paved path that goes all through Mission Trails Regional Park. But we're not taking any detours except for maybe one a little later on. Now, besides the views along this hike, another thing that I really loved about Visitor Center Loop was seeing this ginormous oak tree. There's a sign that asks you not to carve in the oak tree, but as you can tell, a lot of people don't follow that piece of advice. But just because someone else does it doesn't mean it's okay for you to do it. Anyways, we're going to continue on this hike. You can follow this wood fencing along the trail. Now, about a mile in, you're going to want to take this small detour here. Just to the right of the fencing, there's a small walkway that actually leads to the San Diego River. And after the wet winter that we had, the river is flowing and full. So here's the walkway that you'll take. I did this hike in late spring, and you can tell that the water is already starting to become a little stagnant, but the river itself is still flowing. I'll get you guys a close-up view so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know about you, but I've always found the sound of rushing water to be so peaceful. Here she is, guys, the little piece of the San Diego River that we get on Visitor Center Loop. It's not much, but it is something, and I'm grateful to have this only 15 minutes away from downtown San Diego. Once you're done with that little detour, you're going to continue on the hike. The last half mile is where we start to gain elevation. Now watch your footing here because we do have some loose gravel and some small rocks coming up on the hiking path. It's not just packed dirt anymore. On the plus side, this is where I saw the most wildflowers. On the left side of the trail here, you can still see some of those bright yellow flowers that were blooming in spring. I was surprised to see as many wildflowers as I did, considering the temperatures have been rising in San Diego. I'm sure these flowers will die off pretty soon, unfortunately, once summer rolls around. We're about a little over a mile into Visitor Center Loop now, and we're going to come across an additional parking lot. You'll be able to see it from the hiking path. It's obviously not the most scenic part of the hike, but I'll show it to you just for information's sake. The parking lot's made up of packed dirt, and it's really important to note, now that we're talking about parking, that Mission Trails parking lots are not open 24/7. The park will close the gates depending on the season, either at 7 p.m. or at 5 p.m. So if you're planning to hike before sunrise or after sunset, you're going to have to park in a residential area nearby and walk to the trailhead from your parking spot. Continuing on, we only have about 0.3 miles left until we get back to our starting point, and then I can show you guys their awesome visitor center. Here's the entrance to the visitor center. Admission is free, and they have some really cool exhibits and a small gift shop to check out. I highly recommend you come and check out the actual visitor center itself. It is gorgeous. It looks brand new, and there's tons of things to see and read about here. It's a very educational experience, and the views from here are amazing. I mean, just look behind me. Some other family-friendly hiking trails include Old Mission Dam, that's a really good one as well, and Father Junipero Serra Road. That trail is all paved as well, so it is stroller friendly in case you have a little that needs that. If you're looking for a more difficult hike in the area, there is the 5 Peak Challenge out at Mission Trails Regional Park. The 5 Peak Challenge was created back in 2015 to encourage hikers to explore other parts of the park. Most people come here to hike Cowles Mountain, which is one of the 5 peaks. There are actually 4 other peaks in the park. There's South Fortuna, North Fortuna, Piles Peak, and Quaipai Peak. I have an entire blog post about this if you're interested in learning more. I'll put it down below. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this trail as much as I did. Happy hiking!